Hi, I am M. Jagadish, Associate Professor in CSC Department. In this section, we discuss about virtual functions. In the previous video, we discussed about function overriding without using virtual function. What happens when we are not using virtual function when we just go to implement function overriding? That indicates it always points to the base class function only and it always executes the base class function only. That never executes the derived class function. So in order to overcome that problem, here we are using virtual function. So come to the virtual function. What actually virtual function means? See, virtual function is nothing but like a normal member function, but it is declared in base class and it is redefined by the derived class. We are not going to specify that again and again. So when we just go to use the virtual function, first of all, you must know how to create the virtual function. So to create a virtual function, here we just go to specify a keyword virtual before the name of the function in the base class. And make sure that when we are working with virtual function, this virtual function, the keyword virtual, must be there to the base class function only. And even though if the function name is same in both base class and derived class, we just go to specify that we have to use the keyword virtual to the base class function only, not to the derived class. When we specify like this, then C++ determines which function is going to use to execute at runtime. Which function is going to use to execute at runtime means that is done by means of the offset which is pointed by the base pointer. If the base pointer is pointed to the base class function, then the base class function is going to execute. If the base pointer is pointed to the derived class object or derived class function, that executes derived class function. So based on the pointer which is pointed to the base class or derived class, the appropriate function is going to execute. Now look at this example. Now we are working with the virtual function to implement function overriding. Now come to the first one, base class B. Now in the public section, I just go to specify a function show, and I am making this function as a virtual function by preceding a keyword virtual. Then come to the next one. In this virtual function, simply I specify a statement, cout, I am in base show, then close the function, then close the class. Then again, define the derived class. Now the derived class here is nothing but D. Now I am deriving a new class D in public mode from the base class B. Then again, in this public section, I am using the same function that is nothing but show function. I am defining the same function show in the derived class. In this show, I specify a cout statement which is consists as I am in derived show. Then close the function, close the class. Observe clearly here there are two functions with the same name in both base class and derived class, and make sure that we are applying the keyword virtual to only the base class function, not to the derived class function. Now come to the next one, to the main program. Now in the main program, we just go to create the objects. See, first we just go to create the object B for the base class capital B, and also create the pointer object pointer BP. Then again come to the next one, create the object D for the derived class capital D. Now BP is equal to address of B. BP is a pointer object, it is a pointer. So definitely it is going to specify the address. So now for this BP, I just go to allocate the address of B. That is nothing but B is the base class object. So BP arrow show. So BP is a pointer object, so definitely it requires arrow operator. Arrow operator in order to access show. Now BP arrow show, that indicates it is going to execute the show function which is specified in base class Why? Because means now base class pointer is pointing to base class object. So then automatically it executes the base class function. So here the base class function consists like this amp base show, which will be appeared on output screen. And come to the next one, that is nothing but BP is equal to address of D. BP is equal to address of D means now BP is going to specify the address of derived objects. Now it is pointing to the derived class. So BP arrow show that indicates now it is going to execute the show function which is pointed by derived class. So now again it goes to execute the show function which is there in derived class. That is nothing but I am in derived show. So now this I am in derived show will be appeared on the output screen. So this is the way how we just go to make use of the virtual function. When we just go to work with the virtual function, make sure that the virtual keyword will apply to only the function which is there in base class, not to the derived class. And when once we are using virtual function, then definitely you have to create the pointer object. If the pointer object is pointed to the base class, then the base class function is going to execute. If the pointer object is pointing to the derived class, then derived class function is going to execute like this. For the first time, I am in base show will appear on the output screen. For the next time, I am in derived show will appear in output screen. So likewise, it is going to done. Then come to the next one. That is nothing but rules for virtual functions. Here we just go to specify what are the rules for the virtual functions. The first and foremost is nothing but virtual functions must be the members of some class. If you are defining a virtual function, then definitely that virtual function must be the member of one particular class. And these virtual functions cannot be a static members. It is like a normal virtual functions. It cannot be a static member functions. And make sure that these virtual functions can be accessed by using of object pointers only. I already specified when we are creating the or when we are defining the virtual function, then definitely we have to use pointer object. So in order to access the virtual function, we must use object pointers. Then the virtual functions can be a friend of another class. It is not like so that definitely there will not be a friend like that. So the virtual function can be a friend of another class also. And then one more thing is when the virtual function is in the base class, then definitely it must be defined. Even though it is not using. If you are not using the virtual function, if you are not specifying any operation in the base class virtual function, but definitely you must define. That indicates you must specify the function body as a empty. Then come to the next one. The prototypes of the base class version of a virtual function and all the derived class versions must be identical. That indicates the prototypes must be same. Then only it leads to function overriding. If the prototypes are not same, then ultimately it will not comes under the function overriding. It comes under the function or role loading. So likewise, when we are using virtual function, then ultimately the virtual function is meant to achieve function overriding. If you specify function overriding, then definitely the prototypes of both base class and derived class functions must be same. So this is these are the rules. Still continue to the next. That is nothing but we cannot have virtual constructors, but we have a virtual destructors. This is not like so that we are a virtual constructors, but we have virtual destructors. And another one is nothing but why a base pointer can point to any type of derived objects. The reverse is not true. If base pointer is pointing to a base class object or derived class objects, but the derived class pointer will never point to the base class or derived class objects. It is not possible. And one more, when a base pointer points to a derived class, incrementing or decrementing, it will not make it to point to the next object of the derived class. It is not like so that we are not going to specify that increment and a decrement is going to done the next object of the derived class. It is not like so that it is done to its base class type only. Then if a virtual is defined in the base class, it need not be necessarily redefined in the derived class. You can specify simply declaration. Cannot go to specify again, redefine and again. So in such cases, simply we just go to invoke the base class function. Why? Because means it is not there in the derived class. So likewise, we just go to specify these rules. Then come to the next one. It is nothing but pure virtual function. Now here we just go to specify a pure virtual function. What actually pure virtual function means? The same thing. It is nothing but we are applying the same virtual function concept here with some extension. Pure virtual function is nothing but a virtual function, but there is no definition within the base class. If there is no definition in the base class, simply we assign a value 0. To declare a pure virtual function, we just go to make use of a format like this: virtual keywords, return type, name of the function, parameter list is equal to 0, which indicates that do nothing. Take the example: virtual void display is equal to 0. Whenever if there is a statement like this, then you can call this is nothing but a pure virtual function. This is nothing but a pure virtual function. When a virtual function is made pure, then any derived class must provide its own definition. Based on the requirements, based on the application, you can specify the definition of that pure virtual function in the derived classes. And if the derived class fails to override the pure virtual function, a compile time error will generate. If at all, if derived class fails, then ultimately the compile time error will done, because the pure virtual function must be there in the derived class. The definition of the pure virtual function must be there in derived class. You cannot specify the empty in the derived class. Thank you.